From a simple recording of David Bowie on the ukulele, Lust for Life was extrapolated into the instantly recognizable song that we know today. Rolling Stone placed it in the 500 greatest songs of all time in 2004, and yet again in 2021, when the list was re-evaluated and re-ranked. Although Bowie initially derived the beat from a TV program and the iconic rhythm played by the drummer Hunt Sales was also inspired by a variety of sources, nonetheless, the song continues to enjoy prominent use in popular media today, with placements ranging from anywhere from movies to video games, and has inspired the drum patterns of many charting tracks since. So let's dive into the story, stems, and stats of Iggy's hit song, Lust for Life. Hello there, it's Warren Hewitt here. Hope you're doing marvellously well. Welcome back to another episode of the series. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we have a new video. And if you're into production, you can go to producelikeapro.com, sign up for the email list, and get a whole bunch of free goodies. Iggy Pop was born James Newell Osterberg Jr. and had a pulsating career with his proto-punk band ever since its formation in 1967. Multiple reincarnations would assemble and disband under the names like The Stooges and Iggy and the Stooges. In 1977, during the band's second hiatus, he released work under his solo title, Iggy Pop. Close friend David Bowie played a significant role in his professional career. The pair shared an influential and inspirational relationship that went both ways between the two artists. It was at this time that the two moved to West Berlin, each attempting to curb their drug habits. Iggy stayed in Bowie's apartment, among other friends of the English rock star. In this mundane environment, sitting on the floor watching TV, the song hatched. Iggy recalled, "We had one television show a week in English. It came on the Armed Forces Network, and the American forces had a logo like other brands do. It was just a cartoon of a radio tower, and the tower went beep, 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 beep. And Bowie just picked up the ukulele and said, 'Record this.' And he just started playing the changes and went through the changes, and then he said, 'Call that Lust for Life.'" The Lust for Life album and its title song were recorded at HANSA Studios in West Berlin. It featured Iggy on vocals, David Bowie on piano and backing vocals, Ricky Gardner on guitar, Tony Sales on bass guitar and backing vocals, and Hunt Sales on drums and backing vocals.
I have a debate with my buddy on how you play a certain song that I've been asking you about, and I just wanted to see how you do it.
What, Lust for Life?
That's right.
That's what you...
Is it on the floor, Tom? Is it on the kick? What's the swing? How and the how did you do that?
I haven't played it in a while. I don't say I'm playing Lust for Life. Did that sound like it?
That did.
Okay, that's how it's done. Armed Forces Radio in Germany had this drum beat. Beat, 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 with this crazy beat. And then I took that, I took George of the Jungle, the cartoon thing.
Man.
You Can't Hurry Love, the Supremes.
Yeah.
Wrapped it all up and then made it my bag.
Nice.
Okay, at least I'm honest. I'll tell you where, you know.
I used to watch George of the Jungle when I was a kid. George of the Jungle, George of the Jungle.
Well, go listen to it again, and then you'll go Lust for Life.
It's great to have Hunt tell us how he played the part. Let's listen to the drum stem. People always ask me about kick drums, and we don't have a hole on our kick drum. And they're like, "Oh, don't you hate the fact that it's ringing?" And well, there's a good ringing kick drum, and that's why I like it. That big, huge, booming kick drum. I've heard people say that they think it's a timpani or a floor tom or all kinds of things. It's just the way that Hunt tunes the kick drum. It's absolutely remarkable. The room is fantastic. When we were at HANSA a couple of years ago, they showed us the staircase where they would open it up and mic the staircase, because it's this sort of steel, staircase going down really a long way, and they'd mic that and get this incredible room tone.
This is the one which goes up to the HANSA Studio 1 upstairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love this.
So sometimes we have these GPA microphones on each floor.
Wow. Whoa! Nice. Put a drum kit down here, maybe, mic up the top.
Let's try.
They talk about having high ceilings, Here's Tony, Hunt's Brothers, bass line. I love the sponginess. It's just the way it's just kind of bounces. Put it together with the drums. It's just inspirational. What a groove. It's interesting. You can't replicate brothers playing together. You can edit it to sound tight, but you can't get two guys that have grown up with each other, playing with each other since they were little kids, groove anything like that. It's easy these days. We can make things super, super tight. Great. But how do you get it so that there's a push and pull while still locking? And that is what great musicians do. It's tight as a duck's butt, and that's watertight. But it's tight with two guys playing together. It's not all about everybody being on the click. It's about feeling a groove, and it's just got a great swing to it. Hunt is kind of a jazz drummer playing, I suppose, punk, post-punk, new wave, whatever this was. But one of the things I find fascinating, beyond the incredible drumming, the incredible rhythm section here, the iconic rhythm section, is the guitar parts are insanely good. It sounds like the first time you hear it, like quite a simple just bass drums with like maybe a kind of funky-ish kind of guitar part. But listen to the guitars on this. Listen to that. See that Monkeys Last Train to Clarksville guitar part there? So it's a wonderful layering of guitars. It starts off playing what you think it's going to play, matching the groove. It's a nice kind of like really harmonically tight chords with 2 to 3 notes in it. And because it's never like strumming big open chords, there's loads of opportunity to layer parts in there and have movements like the Last Train to Clarksville descending lines in the middle of it. Then all these kind of country hammer-ons. I mean, solo those guitars, and it's not punk or post-punk. But it kind of is, because it's exactly what post-punk was really going to become. This is 77, and, you've got the Pretenders about to come out with James Honeyman Scott. You've got John McGeoch in Magazine, probably one of the greatest and most underrated guitar players. And they're all listening to this. They're listening to this, and they're realizing that you can have that punk rock attitude, but you can actually be a really great musician. So Iggy is just Iggy Pop and Lou Reed. Those two guys made it okay not to be a traditional kind of rock star. But what they did is they let all of us realize that it was more than just singing and tuning in time. It was like great blues. It was about attitude. It was about personality and charisma. And Iggy has never been a traditional kind of like operatic singer. Far from it. But he has more attitude and charisma than pretty much anybody else around. And it is really important to note that Bowie could see that. Bowie was instrumental in bringing forward Iggy Pop and, of course, Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground with the Transformer album and bringing it to the masses. Let's listen to Iggy in solo. What I love about this is it's printed with presumably either the plate from the studio or it could be the staircase. Let's have a listen.
Here comes Johnny in again with liquor and drugs and a flash machine. He's gonna do another striptease. Oh, hey man, where'd you get that lotion? I've been hurting since I bought the gimmick about something called love. Yeah, something called love. Well, that's like hypnotizing chickens. Well, I'm just a modern guy. Of course, I've had it in the ear before, 'cause I've a lust for life. 'Cause I've a lust for life.
Absolutely superb. So much attitude. And again, growing up in the UK, listening to this for the first time, it just sounded dangerous. It's so dangerous. You've got bass and drum groove, like absolutely superb, layered, beautiful guitar parts. And then this guy with this snarl coming in over the top.
Here comes Johnny in again with liquor and drugs and a flash machine. He's gonna do another striptease. Oh, hey man, where'd you get that lotion? I've been hurting since I bought the gimmick about something called love. Yeah, something called love.
Iconic. Great groove, incredible guitar playing, and just snarl from Iggy. It doesn't really get much better than that. And so instantly recognizable when Hunt just comes in with this groove. I love that little false start on the guitars. The fact that they kept that is superb. I'm so glad we have the stems to listen to. Ricky Gardner is such a great guitar player that influenced so many other guys. Like I was talking about James Honeymoon Scott, of course, John McGeoch, another absolutely incredible player. And those guys went on and influenced Johnny Marr, another superb guitar player who was able to sort of listen to the sort of proto-punk world, but also get some of those influences. Like Johnny Marr went back and discovered like Chet Atkins, because you hear in Ricky's playing, you hear like these little country licks, this country sensibility. It's just a really amazing, blend. You've got drums, incredibly reminiscent, of course, of the Supremes. And you've got like a total punk rock kind of down way of playing the bass, but with groove and feel locked in. And then you've got like country styled guitar playing with a bit of kind of funk to it. And then you have Iggy just snarling with the capital CH, snarling over the top, giving it all he's got. The backgrounds in this are superb with Hunt and Tony and Bowie.
Of course I've had it in the ear before, 'cause I've a lust for life. Lust for life. 'Cause I've a lust for life. Ooh. I got a lust for life. Ooh. I got a lust for life. Ooh. Oh, a lust for life.
Also, another thing that I think not probably, because I remember that period, everybody was obsessed with, this album and of course The Idiot as well. Those two albums were so important in the UK for the post-punk and new wave movement. You think of the Pretenders with, a badass girl singer, Chrissie Hynde, and then you had guys doing backgrounds singing in this kind of vocal range with a falsetto vocal. It just has a really, really cool sound. And then, of course, the Chili Peppers, when they come in, they've got, they've got all of that stuff as well. I even feel like with the Stones, they had some of it. It's just that very rock and roll kind of idea to take guys and have them sing in falsetto. Let's listen to these insane harmonies here. Here's the whole track.
Well, here comes Johnny, yeah, again, with the liquor and drugs and a flesh machine.
That's blended in with the vocal.
Oh, well, here comes Johnny, yeah, again, with the liquor and drugs and a flesh machine. I know he's gonna do another striptease. Hey, man, where'd you get that lotion? Your skin starts itching once.
So much attitude, so cool. While the production was spearheaded by Bowie and the Sales Brothers, the lyrics are classic Iggy. Among the chaotic, drug-related and provocative phrases are several references to The Ticket That Exploded by William S. Burroughs. The novel contributes many peculiar concepts and characters to Iggy's lyrical choices, including hypnotizing chickens and Johnny Yen, who, for the record, is described by Burroughs as the boy-girl, other-half striptease god of sexual frustration. It doesn't get more Iggy Pop than that. You're 13, 14, 15, at a time when music was pretty safe. That's what punk rock did. It came along and kicked the butt. And the fact that this was a very, very successful record, particularly outside of America, in Europe, it was incredibly important. And with the burgeoning punk, post-punk and new wave movements happening, this was so important to that time. Released with the album on September the 9th, 1977, the song went to number 3 on the Dutch Top 40. The popular Dutch TV show Top Pop aired a live performance where a shirtless Iggy leveled the stage scenery and decorations. Although the destruction was an orchestrated performance, cleared by Top Pop beforehand, the fallout stirred up newspapers and viewers alike, and no doubt contributed to the song's climb in the Dutch charts. Lust for Life and its covers have been featured in Trainspotting, Reload, Rugrats Go Wild, The Simpsons, Just Like Heaven, and a number of commercials. So much so that The Onion documented the phenomena in a satirical article. Song about heroin used to advertise bank. Though not the first song to use the Motown-style rhythm, Lust for Life and its iconic driving drum sound has been mirrored decades later in works like Travis's Selfish Gene and Jet's Are You Gonna Be My Girl? It's interesting because I got to work with Jet on their second album. I did all the pre-production and recorded, maybe it was about a week or two of demos, and it was a lot of fun. But the takeaway I got from that was after their first album, so many people had criticized them for lifting like that groove, which of course, was very reminiscent of the Supremes. Also, of course, Jet got criticized a lot for sounding like AC/DC or any classic rock. And I remember at the time thinking, what do you want, people? I mean, we're talking about Hunt Sales taking from Motown one of the greatest musical genres of all time. It's so incredible. We always blend together. And there is Jet taking from one of the most important songs of all time, Lust for Life, that influenced so many hundreds of thousands of musicians to start bands and make great music. So it's an interesting one. I think that we have to understand our influence and really be happy that if you're going to take something that's classic and mold it and create something new, more power to you. I feel really blessed that we got to talk to Hunt Sales about this and also hear him break down how he recorded it. There'll be more from Hunt this week as well, so stay tuned. I've got to say, going to HANSA Studios in 2019 was unbelievable. To go to the studio where Heroes was recorded and Lust for Life was recorded is just absolutely amazing. I was blessed to go to Berlin when I was a teenager to play in a band. Yep, I was 16 or 17, and it was just before the wall came down. And you would go by train through West Germany, and when you would come to the border, the guards would change out, and then you'd go to the city. And I'm telling you, when the guards changed out, it was the most, I don't know how to explain it, terrifying experience of my little childhood life at the time. Needless to say, when you got to Berlin, the energy in that city was incredible. It still is. It's still one of my favorite cities in the entire world. The music that comes out of Berlin is almost second to none. It has so much great dance music and techno and synth influence stuff. Because let's not forget, one of the reasons to go to Berlin and record this record was, yes, Bowie and Iggy naively thought they could just go to Berlin and escape drugs, which was hilarious, of course, because it was just this party capital with dance music, because Germany, Deutschland, has probably the biggest influence on synth music of any country in the world. You've got Neu, you've got Kraftwerk, you've got Tangerine Dream, you've got, basically everything that Connie Plank did. And these were the artists that influenced Bowie, Iggy, Joy Division, and of course New Order, Depeche Mode, U2 came to Berlin to record. Everybody goes there because it is a mecca of electronic music. And it's something that's very, very important to remember. That's part of the Berlin scene that is really infused in this recording. It's truly a multinational effort. You've got this kid, Iggy, that had basically grown up in a trailer, being not discovered, because of course he'd already made records, but being Bowie had come along, loved what he had done, even worked with him, and we've done a video on it, on Raw Power. They start partying together and making the music, and then think, well, we'll go to Berlin because, we're going to not get high, but of course we're going to be involved in this incredible music scene. So they go to Berlin and they make this amazing record. If we look at Lust for Life, the album, for instance, it has The Passenger on it, such an important song. Also has Tonight. The Passenger is like a rite of passage for every single kid that wants to get into like punk, because it's just 4 chords. And it's just and then that boom, 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 ba-da-da-dum, rolling bass line with Tony and Hunt again playing this incredibly infectious groove. Like I said earlier, what I love about this is it makes it okay to be a musician and still have a punk rock attitude. I think that's very, very important, and that really opened the floodgates for bands like The Pretenders, like The Smiths, like Magazine, and all of the other bands we're talking about, because those bands all had phenomenal guitar players, incredible guitar players, that had more influence than just the blues. They had the blues, but they had the Chet Atkins side. They had, that country side. They had a bit of jazz in them, and this was a gateway drug for so many of us, a gateway album into other forms of music. Thanks ever so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Leave a whole bunch of comments and questions below. I'd love to know more songs that you love and that you feel were really important and influential. I cannot overstate how influential this was to everybody I knew growing up and having bands in the UK. It is hugely influential. Everybody of my age group, every Gen Xer I know in Britain either had this record, knew this record, listened to this record, was in a band with people that love this record. It is so important. Thanks ever so much for watching. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, tschüss. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, goodbye.